Okay, thank you very, very much for being here on this very important announcement. I'm joined by my colleague and friend, City Councilor Tom Ash, who chairs Public Health and Safety for the City Council, Commissioner John Barbieri, his crime analysis head, William Schwartz, Kevin Kennedy, who is the Chief Development Officer, Deputy Billy Cochran, and Captain Trent Huffnagel. Today we are going to announce, and Commissioner Barbieri will do a PowerPoint presentation, but today we will announce through, and TJ Plant, my Chief Financial Administrative Officer, is here, through sound fiscal management and growing our tax base, we will announce an academy of 59 police officers beginning in May. This is the largest academy dating back to the President Clinton years COPS program of the mid to late 1990s, 20 years ago. This is going to help us get ahead of attrition rates as we move forward. Also, very, very important is that Commissioner Barbieri, as he stated after his and prior to his selection, has moved away from the old policing model of 49% bureau, 51% street officers. He has fully implemented the new modern policing techniques of 25% bureau, 75% street officers. This is going to allow us to put more police officers on the streets and in our neighborhoods. Also important, this is also a tool for economic development and, again, creating more jobs and enhancing quality of life activities and issues in our neighborhood. One thing I have to say, though, is that our brave and dedicated men and women in blue continue to make numerous arrests and raids. It always comes to light that many of these individuals are repeat violent offenders who are right back on our streets. So an integral part of this is we also need, besides the lack of personal and family responsibilities of these negative individuals, we also need our courts and jail system to hold these individuals and keep them off our streets and out of our neighborhoods. There is plenty of room in the inn, and it needs to be utilized for these repeat violent offenders moving forward. So again, when you look at it, 59 new officers, they're going to be trained in C3 policing, the new cutting-edge C3 policing, and de-escalation training, all of them moving to the forefront. This academy will start, I believe, in May, and we're hopeful to have them on the streets before the holidays sometime in November. With that, I'll turn it over to Kevin Kennedy on the economic development help that this gives us in creating and bringing in more business and jobs. Kevin Kennedy.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be brief because this really is the day for the mayor and the police commissioner in the department. But 4 years ago, the mayor and I set out to grow the tax base so that we could do the things that were necessary, and primarily in the area of public safety and crime. It's no secret that we have to do something about it, and we're doing it today, and without going into the detail as the commissioner will actually do. But we need to take a look at it and realize that, believe me, public security, police security is economic development. There is absolutely no doubt about that. Anybody that talks to you about anything different is just not being truthful. Part of the plan that you'll see, and again, I'll leave the details to the commissioner, but part of the plan that you'll see, we are contractually obligated with MGM to create a security district in the downtown, and you'll see that in the plan that the commissioner will detail. But remember, when we do the right things in the downtown, it helps the rest of the city, and it also burnishes the perception and the image of Springfield throughout the Commonwealth and throughout the Northeast. So I'm very, very pleased that we've reached the point now. And remember, those little things that we've done over the years, from those solar farms, and instead of paying the cost of having 3 fire stations on our hands, they're now on the tax rolls. All these things, they all amount to something. And now we're capable of doing what the mayor announced in a sustainable way. So thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, very much. And again, besides the downtown business district, this is also going to enhance neighborhood patrols, putting more police officers, proactive patrols in those neighborhoods. An individual who has worked hand in hand with me for the good of the city is my dear friend and Chairman of Public Health and Safety, City Councilor Tom Ash. Tom?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a tremendous day for the city of Springfield, and I can't thank you enough and your administration. I think it really speaks to your ongoing commitment to public safety and our ongoing war on crime. And as you stated, this is the largest influx of police officers since the Clinton administration, but the difference being that this isn't a grant. This is a sustained model. These officers are here to stay. They're ours. We own them. And it's just tremendous. And then it's going to be a great infusion of public safety personnel in the downtown area, but not at the detriment or the effect of our neighborhood officers, which, in fact, it's going to increase. So this is a tremendous initiative, tremendous day for the city, and it speaks to the commissioner's ongoing commitment and his knowledge around how to best utilize these officers. So I'm thrilled to be here. Mayor, thank you very much for your ongoing commitment, and it's a great day for the city of Springfield.
Thank you, Tom, very much. And again, before I turn it over to Commissioner Barberi for this, it's really an excellent presentation. I also want to commend TJ Plant, my CAFO. We have an award-winning financial division, and the key word here is when we go over these things, which we've been working on, Kevin, TJ, and Commissioner, for well over a month and a half or so, is it sustainable? Is it sustainable? And this is sustainable. And that's the important part, because we want to make sure that these individuals help us get ahead of attrition moving forward with the police department. Without further ado, our hardworking commissioner who leads our men and women in blue, our brave and dedicated men and women in blue, Commissioner John Barberi. Commissioner?
Thank you, boss. Get that out of the way first. Good morning and welcome. Before I subject you to the PowerPoint presentation, hopefully it won't be terribly long, I have to talk briefly about the plan and the fact that it's a collaborative effort. Police Department, the men and women in the Springfield Police Department are outstanding. They're fantastic workers and some of the best in the country. We've been ably supported by Mayor Sarno, the Chairman of the Public Safety Committee, Tommy Ash, the City Council. This plan couldn't have been put together without the valuable input from Economic Development, Kenny Kennedy, Finance, TJ Plant, and the command staff of the Springfield Police Department. The goal is to prioritize the neighborhoods, our continued prioritize patrol and cooperation and collaboration with the citizens in our neighborhoods while supporting economic development. Crime is incredibly complex. Springfield Police Department, our version of policing includes improved collaboration and cooperations with the citizens of Springfield. The city's 33 square miles. Without citizen cooperation, support, and crime reporting, it's impossible for us to do our job. We also want to improve the efficiency of our operations. We want our men and women to be informed. We want them to know as rapidly as possible what trends and patterns are occurring in the city so they can be responsive. And we want to support economic development. A healthy city needs taxpayers and businesses. Economic development is critical to the success of the city, so it's an important mission for the Springfield Police Department. And lastly, we need officer presence, and what this plan will do is allow us to increase officer presence. This academy will allow us to put officers in the neighborhoods and in the economic development area downtown, where we expect millions of people to traverse yearly. Mayor Sarno's been committed to staffing. During the lean fiscal years, we haven't laid off one police officer in the city of Springfield. 2014, the mayor authorized an additional 22 officers to be added to the budget and sent to the academy. So we could start preparations for improving neighborhood patrols and to start laying the groundwork for what we were going to do when the casino and the surrounding businesses opened downtown. 2016, the mayor authorized the addition of 15 officers. The hiring of 59 officers has been authorized for the upcoming academy to fill vacancies and hire additional officers. Commitment to public safety will bring the Springfield Police Department to a size and strength not seen in over a decade. When this class graduates, we expect to have 124 police officers and 80 supervisors. Additional officers hired in 2014 and the additional officers hired in the upcoming recruit class will enhance proactive patrol officers in the uniform division. Neighborhood-based proactive patrol will continue to be prioritized, with supervisors and patrol officers being held accountable by geography and time of day. Neighborhood sector staffing. The Metro Economic Development staffing will not affect current neighborhood sector staffing. Proactive patrol will increase. This class size allows us to staff officers for the economic development area while continuing to add officers to our proactive patrol strategy. Community awareness. When I took this job, I promised the mayor I would be transparent. It's one of the ways to affect communication with the neighborhoods and the residents to encourage collaboration. We're going to enhance that with crimereports.com. We're going to improve operations and efficiency by dashboard crime view, which will allow our officers and our supervisors to have dashboard views of crime trends and patterns. Crimereports.com is a public-facing information sharing portal. It's an interactive crime mapping tool providing real-time information for the public regarding criminal activity and sex offenders in the neighborhoods of their city. They'll be able to log on and see their neighborhoods with pinpoint locations in regards to sex offender locations and crimes that have occurred. Obviously, we'll be using discretion and caution in regards to sex offenses and domestics to protect the privacy of victims. What also will happen is it will facilitate private camera registration and the text-to-tip process, enhancing our commitment to partnerships with our residents and stakeholders. When we unveiled our Motorola platform and we talked about a real-time crime analysis center, one of the keys was getting the neighborhood residents who have cameras and the businesses that have cameras enrolled so we can certify them and ensure that they're there. What that will allow us to do is when there's a crime in that neighborhood, we'll be able to go back and ask those residents to review their camera footage. When the platform is up and running completely, some of those cameras will be accessible right from the Real-Time Crime Analysis Center. It'll allow the officers and the civilians in that unit to touch an icon on the screen and see real-time what's occurring in the street. In instances of extreme crimes like bank robberies or high larcenies or gun violence, they'll actually get a microburst from that camera for the last 30 minutes, and they'll be able to see actually what occurred before the 911 call. It's critical to keeping our personnel advised as to what's going on in the street. And we're finding more and more that technology is helping us solve serious crimes after they occur. And neighborhood residents, with the costs of cameras going down, have been putting them up in their businesses and their homes. It's an example of the maps that will be available to the public in crimereports.com, showing what's occurring in their neighborhood. We will continue to have beat management meetings monthly with the residents so we can expand upon what occurred and what they can see in the maps. So we can explain to them whether the crime was random or whether it was a known party or subject, domestic related, so they can assign their own level of importance to the incident. It's an example of the registered sex offender information they'll be able to pull up at one click. Critical to officer efficiency and supervisor efficiency is the Crime View dashboard. If you picture the police department as a pyramid and the command staff and the crime analysis unit at the top, you can imagine how difficult it is to force information down through every layer so that the street officers get up-to-date information in regards to trends, patterns, and criminal descriptives. What this will allow us to do is the men and women in uniform and in the bureaus be able, from the mobile data computers in their cars and their desktops in the department to look at crime real-time, trends, patterns, days of the week, time of the week, and locations. It's an intelligence tool for supervisors and officers. It provides officers with real-time crime maps and reports for neighborhoods that they are serving. It enhances situational awareness and supports officer safety and customer service, maximizing the resources of the Springfield Police Department. And that is a view of the maps that will be available in the cruiser to the officers. First one is the violent crime map, what's occurred in their sector in regards to violent assaults, handgun incidents, domestic violence. The second map, top right, is quality of life calls. The bottom left-hand side, property crime. And the bottom right side, shots fired. Officers will be able to see the locations where those incidents have occurred real time without having to get an email, without having to pick up a handout in the captain's office. You can see it shows them the days of the week, the times of the day that's occurred. Additionally, if they touch on one of those icons, it'll open up and they can actually read the incident report right from the car without having to go through our records management system. One-touch access to make it easy for our officers to get the best, latest information to keep our residents safe and patrol our neighborhoods. Economic development. As the mayor stated, it was critical for us to find the personnel to patrol the economic development area without affecting the neighborhoods. And the command staff of the Springfield Police Department lived up to the expectations. We shifted numerous personnel out of inside assignments back to the street. We found personnel for C3 policing in 4 of the toughest neighborhoods in Springfield to reduce call volume and shift those officers to a proactive patrol model, along with the uniform division. Economic development is critical for the city to draw in tax-based businesses and citizens that want to live in the city. Union Station is expected to bring in about 4 million people a year. It's a lot of people in the metro area. The goal for the Springfield Police Department is not to patrol the casino property. We'll be there, we'll certainly assist the casino, but our goal is to support the economic development around the casino, to encourage businesses, restaurants to move in, people that want to live in the metro area. So the economic development area is not limited to the casino. The metro policing area will consist of Main Street, the corridor from Mill Street to Union Street, and the surrounding blocks. You'll see intensive police presence, including fixed posts along Main Street from Union Station to Union Street, along with walking and roving patrols providing focused visible attention on Main Street from Union to Mill and the blocks east and west of Main Street. The South End C3 policing unit will be incorporated into the Metro policing unit under the title E3, and the entire Metro policing unit will operate under the principles of C3 policing. The fixed police posts will be along visible sight lines from Union Station to Union Street and then along to West Columbus in Union, so that any person walking in the metro area can see a fixed, visible police post and know that there's intensive police presence in the area. Not to just battle crime, but the perception of crime. These booths will be lit, they'll be manned, the officers will be handling any problem in that block-and-a-half area, but responsive back to the booth if needed. They'll be stepping out if there's an issue or a problem. They'll be there to assist the neighborhood residents and tourists in the area. Additionally, there'll be emergency contact stations posted in the areas visible between those posts, so that persons walking in the metro area will know that they're one step away from police assistance. The tentative locations for the visible police posts are the area of 1666 Main Street, Tower Square, Main and East Court Streets, and West Columbus Ave and Union Street. And then there's a proposed, it's basically a substation only because it's a fixed police post where the community residents will be able to go in and meet, and the officers will be able to do reports. And that's proposed at around 1111 Main Street. Staffing. Staffing changes have been implemented to spur economic development in the metro area and to enhance other police services. Again, with special consideration in regards to prioritizing service in the Springfield neighborhoods. This was done through reorganization and assignment reviews that provided insights and manpower savings. This allowed for reassignments within the department that transitioned some of the supervisors and officers assigned to inside or investigative services to proactive patrol positions. You'll have one captain and 22 additional officers that were added in 2015 in preparation for increased service demands of this metro area. The 15 additional officers will be added and hired for the current upcoming recruit class. Again, the total number of officers will be 424, and 5 new sergeant positions will be added in 2016. One of the critical errors that the community policing grants in the Clinton era days was that they did not hire more supervisors. We got a lot more officers on the street, and that improved effectiveness, but it didn't improve efficiency because it was a limited amount of supervision for those officers. So the outcome is the Metro Economic Development Area will have 24 hours, 7-day-a-week staffing with 1 captain, 1 lieutenant, 3 sergeants, and 35 officers. Not only will this be a boon to the economic development area, but it will assist the neighborhoods. Calls generally drag the Springfield Police Department from east to west because of the population of the city and the density in those areas. So we generally, our major calls to service are the metro area and then the 4 C3 areas, which is why they were selected. So those officers in those 3 C3 areas and the metro division officers will be proactively patrolling in their neighborhood, except for the officers in the fixed posts. And it's expected that they'll reduce the demand for services by the rest of the patrol division, so that hopefully officers won't be chasing calls downtown and have to leave their sectors, again, from east to west. This is an example of the staffing on the 3 shifts. I won't go through it, but it's in the PowerPoint presentation that what you'll have. What you'll see is that the posted positions, it's an assigned position. The officers will be trained and selected. And there's enough officers selected so that days off will be covered. And there's additional officers that will rove. The supervisors will be meeting with the business leaders, the residents, the profits, the nonprofits, again, utilizing C3 policing methods. There'll be additional resources. Springfield Parking Authority funded overtime for walking post officers, the sectors assigned patrol division supervisors and officers, and then the overtime that the bid and the bars usually incur in regards to extra duty officers. That's the evening shift staffing. And that's the midnight staffing. What you will notice the difference in the midnight staffing is, depending on pedestrian volume and vehicular traffic in the areas, after 4 a.m. these officers will leave those fixed posts, turn the lights off, and patrol the neighborhood division and the business division of the metro area and secure property security. So that if you decide to open a restaurant or a store in the metro division, you'll know that you have 24/7 policing and that your property is secure when your employees lock up at night. Part of the mayor's plan allows for some additional staffing. One of those additional supervisors will be assigned to an anti-corruption unit. Due to the opening of the casino and the potential for increases in alcohol-related businesses, we felt it was a critical component to ensure integrity and public trust. Another additional sergeant will be assigned to the uniform division to assist with those extra officers out of this academy that will be assigned to the neighborhood. Again, it does us little good to hire police officers and not supervise them. So in summary, and I thank you for your patience, staffing increases will allow for continued prioritizations of our neighborhoods and staffing for the economic development area. A 59 officer academy, 15 additional officers, and 5 additional supervisors. Crime and sex offender info online. Transparency and improved citizen awareness Citizens awareness will provide for improved neighborhood alertness and reporting to police. In Crime View Dashboard, our supervisors and officers will be better informed regarding trends and patterns. Officer awareness will provide improved crime responsiveness and efficiency. It's the goal of the Springfield Police Department to serve all our citizens. And again, crime is incredibly complex, but if we're going to be effective, we cannot just patrol. We have to improve collaboration and communication with citizens. And the best way to do that is to be transparent and let them know what's going on in their neighborhoods so that they're better informed to report to the police when they see suspicious activity. We have to continually improve effectiveness and efficiency of operations. We have to support economic development, and we have to try to increase officer presence whenever we can. This is a part of an incremental plan change in the police department, and as we've talked about in the past at other meetings, there's more to come. We're going to continue to try and improve operations at the Springfield Police Department to better serve our citizens' businesses. The residents of the city deserve a top-notch police department with a critically improved plan, and we're working on that. And again, I thank Mayor Sarno for his support.
Thank you, Commissioner Barberi. Excellent presentation. Any questions that you might have? Again, in your press package that Miriam Sullivan gave out to you, there is a link for the PowerPoint. It's www.tinyurl.com, SPD Policing on it. So, again, this is the largest influx of a police academy dating back to the President Clinton years of the mid to late 1990s, 20 years. It's due, we were able to do this through a sound fiscal management. I thank TJ Plant, my CAFO, and growing our tax base. Mr. Kennedy explained our commitment to the economic development area of the downtown with the MGM. And these individuals are going to be trained in C3 policing. They're also going to be trained in de-escalation training moving forward. Also, as the Commissioner had mentioned, which is key, as he did in his presentation to become our new Commissioner, he has shifted away from the old policing ratios of 49% bureau, 51% street, to 25% bureau, 75% street, which puts more men and women in blue on our streets and in our neighborhoods. You also are aware of that with this number of police officers coming in, this is going to help us get ahead of attrition rates. This is sustainable. I think Councilor Ash had mentioned too, unlike the President Clinton years, that was a grant and the money went away. This is sustainable and with supervisors. The other thing too, and I think the media has covered it, and we put everything out there, unlike many other cities or towns. And all we ask is fairness. But many of the arrests that have been made by our dedicated and brave men and women in blue and raids are repeat violent offenders. And again, I need to call out, besides their lack of personal responsibility and family responsibilities, to our courts and jail system, that we need these individuals held. Keep them off our streets and out of our neighborhoods. We put across the bail legislation. At times, we're wondering if it's going to gain any type of traction on these violent and repeat offenders. So this is a comprehensive plan which gets to what we've always been saying. Police officers wear two hats. Not only public safety, but the perception for economic development. Perception plus attitude equals reality. So, again, I'm very proud that we can make this announcement. I'm very proud of the leadership of Commissioner Barberi and our men and women in blue for putting this together. It's comprehensive. The Academy, again, will start in May. We're hoping to get these young men and women on the streets by November. And in the meantime, some of these initiatives are already in progress and working. And I continue to work hand in hand with our Chairman of Public Health and Safety on the City Council, Tom Ash. This will be in our budget presentations to the City Council, and Tommy's assured me of support on that moving forward. But I think this sends a message that not only we're going to be brave in our policing, but we're going to continue to be efficient, and we're going to be smart on this, and we're going to need the continued partnership of other entities, whether business entities, nonprofit entities, and medical establishments on dealing with some of the urban challenges we face. So with that, again, the presentation is available on that link that we explained. That should also be on the press release that was just released a little while ago. And we appreciate you getting the word out on this comprehensive approach, marriage of public safety and economic development. Kevin Kennedy, again, will allude to, I think Commissioner Barberi alluded, Union Station, at least 4 million visitors. MGM complex, we're talking maybe 10,000 a day. And we want to make sure that those individuals have a great experience and spread the word. I think it's, almost back to the future, too, going with the cop in the box that Commissioner Barberi wants to, we're going to pursue. And also the phones that many ICAICs here, which I appreciate. Many college campuses have that across the nation. So that sense that you're going to be safe. And if something does occur, the police are going to be there to respond. But we're more on trying to move on the proactive. William Schwartz here with crime analysis is very, very important. As Commissioner Barberi, that real-time information getting to our officers.
To answer the question, the funding for the upcoming academy is about $1.2 million overall, and it's actually broken down for what we can sustain in FY16 at $495,000, and an investment of FY17 of $742,000 for the total $1.2 million investment. So the goal here is to fund all the vacancies that have been built into the budget in recent years and to get ahead of attrition.
Can I explain on the, again, we continue to grow our tax base besides the MGM project. Kevin can get into it. We've had a lot of different spin-off projects that have occurred here, whether it's the Chinese railway, solar farms, other biz Falvey linen. But the other thing, with a change of administration and a new police commissioner coming in, it is not uncommon for many retirements to occur. We plan attrition at certain levels. But when you have a change of leadership, many a times, which it did in this case, it increases the level of retirements. So this will help us not only fill those, but it'll help us get ahead of attrition also. And I think that's very, very important. And we feel that we can carry and sustain, again, you'll have 424 men and women in blue on the streets, besides the supervision, which, as Commissioner Barberi alluded to, is extremely important to have on there. And again, set areas. I know Deputy Cochran, Billy Cochran downtown, and really Captain Trent Huffnagel is going to be the guy for the metro downtown area. I think the big thing also is that the commissioner has ordered, besides the C3 policing, de-escalation training. Our last academies had that. That'll continue to be taught.
In-service training.
And also in-service training for all our men and women in blue.
Well, I think there's a couple of improvements. Don't forget, this is a layered approach. First, we're going to have our real-time crime analysis division with access to cameras. They'll be able to look for trouble spots in the metro area before they occur to alert officers to respond if it looks as though we may potentially have a problem with groups gathering. We'll have a lot of additional officers in the area. We'll have license plate readers, which allow us to solve crimes afterwards. So we're hoping that the message will go out to some of our more troubled citizens and visitors from other cities that the metro area is not a safe place to operate if you're going to be involved in criminality. It's not a safe place to carry a firearm if you're not legally licensed and if you have nefarious purposes. I think that the average person in the metro area now, even though we have patrols out there, I think that the mindset of people now is not that they saw an officer 5 minutes ago, they continue to feel safe. It's, I saw an officer 5 minutes ago, where the hell is he now? So I think that by having the visible, intensive presence of the fixed posts supplemented by roving patrols, that'll improve the perception of safety downtown as well as the actuality of safety downtown. We're looking at some highly innovative techniques in regards to those roving patrols. Deputy Chief Cochran, who is in charge of the Central Division, will be in charge of the overall economic development area, and Captain Trent Huffnagel, who will be the captain in charge. We collaborated, in regards to what's the best way to get around. We looked at some alternatives, horses, or maybe bring back the horses. They're just not that efficient. For every 8-hour shift, you get 4 or 5 hours out of them. So we went to the electronic horse. Deputy Cochran did a lot of research, and we found hybrid motorcycles that can go up and down stairs and sidewalks. And we actually sent 4 officers away for training in California to become train the trainers. So that unit will have the ability to respond in cars, on foot, on bicycles, and on motorcycles that allow them to be not only responsive but flexible. You can get anywhere at any point in the metro area. So we're going to throw the best that we can in best practices and technology, and then obviously we're going to go back the old-fashioned way with shoe leather. We're going to have a lot of cops out there, and the balance has been, of course, supporting economic development without costing the neighborhoods the police presence that they so desperately require and deserve. And I think we've struck that balance.
Thank you. I also want to indicate, too, that what we're building here, and we're starting this a year and a half ahead of time, prior to MGM formally opening up. Aesthetic quality issues, the much more lighting that we're doing, the uplighting that we're doing, bringing numerous thousands of positive bodies, no matter what creed, color, or background, into an area in itself brings public safety. Making sure it's clean area, making sure it's appealing to the eye, flowers, other activities going on, and make it with the positive events that are going to go on there, then the word of mouth that people come downtown. I'm downtown all the time, my family, whether it's Falcons game or events going on, no problems whatsoever. Pat, at times in urban America, will something occur that is targeted at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, or domestic type aspect? Am I happy about that as Councilor Ash or Commissioner Barbarian? No, we're not. But sometimes this goes to the sense of personal and family responsibilities. And many of these individuals in our we call them our hot list meetings that we have in court, are repeat violent offenders who are able to walk out of court, who are not jailed at the time, and there's plenty of room in the inn, who are on bracelets and monitors and still continue to commit crimes. The police department has done yeoman work on narcotic raids, yeoman work. And that is a medical treatment issue there. We realize that also. So putting these all together, and then being able, the cop in the box, lit areas, and a negative individual does not like to do business in an area that is highly populated, activities going on, highly lit, police presence is very much evident. So this is a nice balance that we've struck here, and it actually doesn't take away anything from our neighborhood. It's going to enhance our neighborhoods, which was very important to me, besides moving our tax base in downtown. We also need the help from the media. You know, we appreciate, we give you everything. We appreciate fair reporting and not sensationalizing some things that occur. And also reporting after the fact when something has been solved. But you know, to the media, within reason, we report everything, unlike other surrounding cities and towns. And many a times, I know it's ratings of the age of reality TV, but negativity sells. Springfield's a great city. Like many other urban centers across America, we have those issues. We'll continue to combat those issues, but we ask you to also get the good news that is going on. And we have made numerous arrests. These are violent and repeat offenders. We ask the court system and the jail system to keep them locked up. Keep them off my streets, our streets, and keep them out of my neighborhoods. But this is a very comprehensive approach that has been put forward here that I think strikes a good balance and accord with our metro downtown area and our neighborhoods moving forward. And again, 59 new men and women in blue. Biggest in 20 years moving forward. So there's a lot of moving pieces to this puzzle. Police department cannot do it all. We're working hand in hand. Community cooperation is extremely important. You know, we're not happy when something does occur and we don't receive any type of cooperation, and many of these things are targeted, but very proud of the men and women in blue, Commissioner Barberi and the leadership, and putting this plan together, and it's a combination. And I feel, again, we're moving ahead a year and a half ahead of time on this rollout. So we'll be ready to move and continue to grow our tax base and grow the psyche and the morale of the city of Springfield. Didn't you see, John Barberi did the CSI, he did a cameo appearance on one of the recent shows. Did you see that? Did you get a residual check for that? I'm going to bring
Dead
up.
body. It was
I'm
a
gonna-
dead body.
I'm going to bring up Commissioner Barberi. You want to say anything, Don? Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that we've been invited to San Diego to RSI, one of the first communities in the Northeast to wrap this package up like this, where we're using all the available technology in the most cost-efficient manner. You know, we don't have a pocketbook like Boston or New York that are harbor cities and have a ton of money. We've done it in a very cost-efficient, effective way. But we're the only community in the Northeast that's going to do real-time crime analysis and transparent, open reporting to the citizens and dashboard information to officers. If you wrap up the package, I think it's unique to Springfield, and we're pretty proud of the men and women here for all the hard work that they've done. The command staff, Billy Schwartz from our crime analysis unit, we're ably supported in the Springfield Police Department, and the citizens should be satisfied to know that we're doing our best to give them our best. That's my guess, so fully
Yeah,
equipped.
our estimate, fully equipped and implemented, about 100 grand per unit, and we just got to go out to RFP once we get everything, our specifications complete.
The goal for those is obviously heated and air conditioned so that we actually get the officers to stay in them and that they're actually worth something when they're needed. And then to have a laptop computer in there so that they can take reports and assist residents at the location. So really, it's not just going to be a police officer. They'll have the full assistance and support of the Springfield Police Department at their fingertips. The goal for us is we want to be firmly in place at least 6 months before the metro economic development really kicks off, before the casino opens and the businesses and the restaurants open. Our goal is earlier if possible, but at least 6 months, so that investors come in and they're starting to look at other businesses in the area to open restaurants, retail marketing stores, that our footprint is firmly in place and that they understand that their security is paramount.
And again, the commissioner's push has been the men and women in blue on the streets, on the streets. This is a unique initiative that we're doing, because what Pat had mentioned about giving you the sense, not only sense of reality of security, and that'll continue our push to get more police officers in our neighborhood areas too. And this will help generate revenue coming to the city of Springfield and allow my administration to do more proactive and positive things in every nook and cranny of the city of Springfield. But the key was getting this, not rolling it out the day before downtown activities, start. It's going to be a year to year and a half, and John says on that possibly 6 months before that opens. Union Station will be opening up. The end of the year, by the holidays, we have Union Station opening up. The RRC Railway will be breaking ground very shortly. The Chinese president will be in town the next couple of weeks or so on that. And then we'll continue. The big thing was the spin-offs, as Commissioner Barberi mentioned, that developers now are knocking on, every week we're getting people knocking on our door saying now they're more and more interested in coming to the city of Springfield. Same thing with our market rate housing. And then when you start to change perception and the attitude into a positive reality without taking away from our neighborhoods. So Springfield, again, is going to be cutting edge, and I think the presentation Commissioner Barberi made a few months back on real-time crime analysis, we are the first city the first city in the Northeast that is going to be doing that, Springfield, Massachusetts.